Hello and welcome to another game review. Today I'm going to be playing the big boy 10 cents game called Tower Fantasy. I personally would probably call this game Fantasy Tower. Tower Fantasy sounds maybe a little bit weird, but it's not that bad. I give it maybe a 95 out of 100. There's much worse titles for games. So I'm going to play this game. I'm going to go over this little game update information here, and then I'm going to play the game and give some advice on the localization and the story. I've already done this 3 times, but I messed up. But you live and you learn. And yeah, this game is pretty good actually, very good for a mobile game. And I think it could even be played on a console if Tencent really wanted it to. It might even be better than Genshin Impact, at least initial view of it. And the story is pretty good too. We'll get into that. Anyway, here's the maintenance message. You know, companies will give out these kind of long, super long letters to their players every week. I don't know if that many people actually read these, but let's just say these are done last minute at a company. Often the game has been developed for the week, the events have been developed for the week, and then someone will make a Chinese version of this update and they will give it to the translator. Sometimes even when that translator is translating the update for the game at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, at least from my experience, they are translated 30 minutes before they need to get put up there, and this leads to mistakes. If I was in charge, I would tell the developers to come up with a blueprint for what they're updating before they do it. Give it to the translators. They write it from scratch in English or their languages, or at least as you're developing the game, you leave a list of the things so that this doesn't have to be done last minute. But again, because no one probably actually reads this, does it really matter? Probably not. However, it still reflects on the management style of the company. For example, September 5th, maintenance over. I would say September 5th, the maintenance is finished. Maintenance over is a little weird sounding. Alright? So, dear Wanderer, today's maintenance is over. Thank you for your understanding, patience, and support. Notice how there is no Oxford comma. I know, as Vampire Weekend said, nobody gives a fuck about an Oxford comma, and that's probably true. But this says to me that the person who wrote this, who translated this, was a Chinese person who studied in the UK, or a British person. But as you could see later, I'm pretty sure that it is not the latter. When you look at these lists, I don't know if it's Google that requires it to be in this format, or I have a suspicion that in China, Chinese does not have the same format in lists as in the English-speaking world. In the English-speaking world, something like this, where it says update content, new gameplay, number 1, added a domain, there will be a space between each of them. It just looks better than this one, where it's just a list of ideas. It's just easy to read. It's not a big deal. It's not really going to affect anything, but, you know, just a comment. Next, we have the server shutdown compensation. Notice how the dark crystals is not capitalized after 500 and 200 here, but it is after 100. This is a key item in the game, which is why it's capitalized 1 time, and you gotta be consistent. Small thing, but still, that was an easy one, right? Next. Compensation eligibility, players who reach level 6 before the update. It should be players who have reached. You could say players who reached. Now level 6 here, kind of strange, not really a problem, but you know, normally it's capital LV dot space 6, right? Next one. We will send the above conversation to your mailbox within 2 hours of the maintenance update completion. This is Chinglish. It should say, we will send the above conversation to your mailbox within 2 hours of the maintenance update being completed. Alright, next. Added a domain 9 map. Joltsville. That's okay. Explore the majestic mountain and mystical realms. Stroll through the bustling bazaar, or immerse yourself in the tranquil greenery of the bamboo groves. That's okay. Added main story, domain 9. I think you should say. Added main story elements, because you didn't add the entire main story, did ya? No. Also, the I in this is weird. The font, the I looks like a capital I or another L. I would fix that. The main reason that led to the timestamp crisis of Domain 9 lies with the infinite sundial. This is very badly written. The main reason that Domain 9's timestamp crisis occurred lies within the infinite sundial, a large field energy reactor. The discoveries from the outside world brought hope, revealing a truth that astounds all. There should be, the discoveries from the outside world have brought hope and revealed a truth that has astounded all. Just keep the tense correct. Last few things. Added a world boss, darkness. What the heck is the meaning of the comma here? I have no idea. I can't even make an assumption of what you mean. And the next one, it says it added a new simulacrum, Huang. I think that comma there should be a colon. Now, there are loads of other issues here, but as you can see, this is probably rushed. That's just my assumption. So let's play the game. I mean, the music's good. It's very calming. I love it. Look at the graphics. Look at the girl's hair is flowing in the wind. Look at the leaves going off the tree. You could still make a beautiful game on a mobile. So good job, Tencent.
You wish to see me, my lord?
Now, I played this game like a year ago. Oh crap. Let's see if I can get it back on again. I apologize. That's just the game being game. Now, as I was saying, I played this game previously, and some of the stuff at the beginning was not there. It's very common for a gaming company to release a game, see how people like it, and then over time adjust the beginning of the game, because the beginning of the game is the first thing that people see, right? So they make, if the game's successful, if the general idea is successful, then they pour more money into it, and they make an actually good introduction at the beginning of the game. At least that's what I think. So let's try this one more time. Good graphics. Look at the weapon kind of moves.
You wish
it's
to
kind
see
of
me, my
anime style. It's a little bit looks like Genshin Impact, but
has sent
it's a little bit
someone
more
into the
gritty.
quarantine zone.
The pacing is good. You're not talking too fast like in some kind of games.
It's time to release the hounds.
Localization here is pretty it is very good. I will give credit
Target
when
signal
credit's
lost. I can't locate it anymore.
Careful. Something about this place doesn't feel right.
due. Well, yeah, it's away. Which, you know, from old game, you gotta hook the players instantly. It's a hard thing to do, but here, just look at this. This is, I really love this. Players running, the girl and boy are running.
We need to lose
Chased by
them.
this monster. The graphics there. Now this is what I really like. This is great narrative design. They jump, and then instead of like most games where you need to like choose before you do anything which character you want, they make you choose the character right there in the action. That's whoever decided that. Very smart, very good. Not even some console games do this. I'm very happy with it. Great. Let us choose. I love how some of the objects, like up close, seem 3D. It's just a cool little. It's original, at least to me. I mean, I know it's maybe an anime thing, but you know, a lot of mobile games still use 2D, or like even worse, graphics. But this one, they put the money into it. Good job, Tencent. This is a great intro.
Today's definitely not my day.
Love how he talks to himself while you're moving. That's a great way to include story while you're playing the game instead of forcing a video. Pick up an item.
A mine? This wasn't mentioned in the intel. Energy reserves are low. Oh, please don't fail me now. No!
Right.
Those monsters are in here.
Everything's been good, but energy reserves are low is kind of weird. I would say, I don't know. I know he's talking to himself, but that sounds kind of like, you know, a machine saying like, energy reserves are low. He should say, oh crap, my energy reserves are low or something like that, just to make it a bit more natural. Use normal attacks to defeat the enemies. Try using weapon skill. Teach the enemy. I think should we teach those enemies? Because I think there's more than one, right? Yeah, there's more than one. So teach those enemies. But that's probably because this was translated before the guy played it, and then they didn't give the person the ability to play it. Or the person didn't know. I have to figure out a way to get out of here. Alright. Beginning of the game, so you should check. This is the most important part. To check the English, right? Run towards a wall to begin climbing. Climbing consumes endurance. That's great. But here, hit the jump button to climb walls faster, but this will consume even more endurance. Now in Chinese you have Sui Ran and Dan Shi, and sometimes you don't really need to translate both those words into English if they come in a sentence. And here we have the but that really does not need to be here, or at least it's a very weird sentence. It should be hit the jump button to climb walls faster, period. However, note that this will consume even more endurance. Or hit the jump button to climb faster, period. Keep in mind this consumes even more endurance, something like that. But as it currently stands, this is not a correct sentence. Beginning of the game, Tencent, you have to do it. And if it's the beginning game with this kind of basic error, what's in store? But I have played this a little bit, and I do think the English is generally good, but still. Beginning of the game, right? Can I? Yeah, nice. Always like a game where you can do that.
It's freezing.
Good way to make the player know about the environment without having to use a spell or something. Is the player. Cool, boss. Graphics. Don't know why the buttons are so slow. Just can't use them.
That was close. I didn't think the big one would follow me. I need to contact headquarters somehow. Hope there's a way out ahead.
Using elemental weapons to attack should open the corresponding.
Aberrants.
This is a fun game. More straightforward than Genshin Impact, but for people who don't really like open world games, that's a good thing.
The suppressor energy. Just a little more. A little.
Target acquired. Understood. Take him away and wipe their memory.
I think it should be take him away. I know it's a common phrase to say take him away, but if there's only one person, you can't really say take them away, right? I think. A core structural component in the Tower of Fantasy, period. This contains, not which, that's a common mistake in Chinese. This contains the omnium. This contains omnium that was channeled from the comet Mara. Alright, there's one more thing I would like to point out here.
Over. Now comes the road to recovery.
Good thing we got there in time. Was that movement?
Light? What happened?
The last time I turned off the game
Can you see me?
before this part, and when I woke up, when I played
here.
it again, my character had changed to a female.
Are you
I don't
awake?
know if you noticed that, anybody else noticed that, but maybe check into it.
Suppressor seems to be fine. No need to worry.
I think it should
Where
be the
am I?
suppressor. It just seems a bit weird, but not too bad. Good use of video, and then you jump back into this. So,
Your suppressor has been replaced with a new energy cell. Feeling better?
Much better.
but the tone is
And
good
you
of
are?
most of these voices. I like it.
You've been out for a whole day. I thought you were...
That's Shirley, and I'm Zeke, her brother. I'm in charge of this shelter.
You saved me?
Of course. We found you passed out behind the shelter and...
Your suppressor was out of power, so we brought you in and fixed it.
This is Astra Shelter, area code HT501.
What's your name? And what are you doing all alone in the mountains?
I think he said, "What are you doing?" Where the English here says, "What were you doing?" So it's good to check that the audio and speech correspond with one another.
I don't know. I can't remember.
This person was
Classic
all bruised up
way
and
of
passed out in the
introducing
mountain. Probably a lost scavenger.
a player to the world with the challenge of making the classic way of making the player learn about the world is by erasing the memory of the character so that you're kind of put in the exact same place as them.
A lost scavenger? Well, tough luck. The aberrants built a nest in the machine cemetery. You're lucky we found you alive. You can stay here until you recover your memories. We did a full scan of your body and everything seems to be in the clear.
I think...
Go get yourself cleaned up. You look like a mess. Shirley, go show the newcomer to Celine. I've already informed her.
Got it. Hey, newbie, this way. Oh, and your weapon is on top of that crate. Don't forget to pick it up.
Now the way she says this here is a little confusing because when I first played this I was like, okay, where's the crate? In this room? I can't see it. And I walked around and I opened all these other things. But in fact, the crate is down there. I feel like she would say follow you, and then outside she should say that, so to make it more obvious. But just saying. Beautiful game. I will definitely continue playing this, despite a few of my criticisms. It does jump you into it pretty quickly. It's like if you have been hurt and you woke up, well, the first thing is like, go take him to this place,
Not
blah,
too
blah, blah, blah,
shabby,
especially
am I
if he's
right?
gonna become a fighter or something.
Did both you and Zeke grow up here?
We have been living here since we were very little. There weren't a lot of people back then. Everyone chipped in to build this place little by little.
You may proceed over at any time.
This is very similar to Genshin
This
Impact,
is-
that there's like a
Greetings. I am Mia,
girl
a
character who like helps the main character, who's kind of
Generation's
a
life servant.
3 foot
Mia's
tall,
my assistant. Zeke found her in one of the
non-human
ruins,
girl.
but its language model is a little buggy, so it talks funny sometimes.
I apologize. I will do my best to make my speech intelligible.
Oh, you're fine, Mia.
Come with me, please. We should not keep Miss Celine waiting.
So I'm gonna end it here. There's one thing I gotta say about the writing is if you had just met somebody and you were looking at this place, would you say like, did both you and blah grow up here? Did he have any? Maybe the way he said it was why it was. Instead he said, did both you and blah grow up here? You could have said, did you and grow up here? So instead of da 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 da, you could say da 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 da. The tone is different. It has a different meaning to it. It's sometimes hard with voice actors to get that meaning across. It just seems like a weird question to ask if he just woke up, especially since he knows nothing about this place. It could have been asked a little better, like let's say the walking to the place and the girl mentioned something about growing up there, and then he could have asked something like that to make sure that they both grew up there to get a better context. But it just seems a random question. If I had moved somewhere or I was somewhere and I met somebody for the first time, or especially if I woke up from being knocked unconscious, I wouldn't ask the first question, did you grow up here, without knowing any knowledge about it, right? But otherwise the writing's pretty good. And obviously in gaming sometimes you need to do things just to move the story ahead. It's hard to keep it natural with that in mind. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this, if you want me to keep playing it, I will. If not, who cares? But yeah, have a great weekend.